covering the entire Piedmont Triad and everywhere you are. This is WXII 12 News at 4:30.
Right now at 4:30, a shooting investigation. The woman whose home was invaded is speaking out, plus the new information about the suspects in this case. And a man charged with killing a woman in Mount Airy will be in court today, but for an unrelated case. We'll explain why. And we are less than 1 month away from the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. Who made the teams for both track and gymnastics? Good Monday morning, and thank you for waking up with us. I'm Brianna Connor here with meteorologist Brian Slocum. And it's a little bit wet out there when you walk out this morning.
Got a few showers and storms in the area. May have woken some folks up during the night, but things are starting to settle down quite a bit as they lift out of our airspace. Raining right now in Winston-Salem. The thunder is settled down and it's just kind of tapering off to scattered showers over the region. You can see as we zoom in, most of the heavy stuff is near Kernersville, south of Blues Creek, north of Wahlberg, and this is lifting to the east-northeast at a pretty good clip through Oak Ridge and Summerfield. A little bit of a spotty shower left up near Iresville, Shepherd's Mill, along the border with Virginia, also near Price once you get a little bit farther north into the Martinsville metropolitan area. Another shower, pretty good one too, coming down Business 40 toward Greensboro. So if you're downtown, grab the umbrella before you leave the house and get your early morning cup of coffee. McLeansville, Pleasant Garden, seeing some wet weather there and a good decent storm coverage now. At least heavy shower coverage over Burlington near Sax-Baja, Mebane, seeing some wet weather near the outlets this morning. Rock Creek 2 seeing a little cell there as well. Temperatures up until a little bit ago, we're in the mid-70s. We haven't cooled all that much since yesterday afternoon. Temperatures holding steady around 72 degrees over the area, about 10 degrees cooler in many of our mountain locations this morning, even upper 50s near Boone in the early going today. Temperatures again, we're warming well. A nice start. I don't think we'll see too much rain in the early going through about noon. We'll start to pick up the shower and thunderstorm chances in our western counties around lunchtime today, and the rest of us will see an increase in storm coverage this afternoon. Some of those storms might be on the strong side once again later today as we take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast. Lower 80s to mid-80s by noon. That's when we start to see the showers and storms flaring up later this evening. This could merge into a strong line as it starts to exit the area, so keep that in mind too. 87 is today's highs, where the next day and the week ahead's numbers are faring. We'll have that for you coming up in a bit.
New this morning, Winston-Salem police have identified and released some pictures of people allegedly involved in a home invasion and shootout yesterday in Winston-Salem. 17-year-old Amant Williams and 18-year-old Dominique Jones are facing a number of charges now, including armed robbery, first-degree burglary, and kidnapping. The two were not alone, though. Police are still looking for one more person they say was involved. And the woman targeted during the home invasion talked with us, explaining what happened during the attack. She says 3 men with guns forced their way into her apartment on Northwest Boulevard. They pistol whipped her and a boyfriend, then they trashed her place looking for cash. The woman says she felt like her life was in danger, so she tried to defend herself.
I got kidnapped. They tried to come back and take me. That was, truth be told, the reason why I started shooting. It wasn't even because you done pistol whipped me and all of that, you done knocked me out twice. When they came back and they was trying to take me with them, that's when the shooting occurred between the both of us.
Nearby, Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center was put on lockdown while police investigated the scene. Happening today, a man charged with killing a woman in Mount Airy will be in court. Jordan Loudermilk is scheduled to face a judge for a misdemeanor probation violation unrelated to the murder case. Loudermilk is accused of killing Claudia Smith on May 11th after breaking into her house. Detectives say he stole her car and then crashed it on I-77. He also stabbed a man in the neck who was pulled over on the side of the road. Loudermilk has a court date to deal with charges in relation to these crimes in September. Winston-Salem police are investigating a deadly wreck involving a motorcycle. It happened yesterday evening just after 6 near the intersection of Chatillon Drive and Rolling Knoll Lane. Dispatchers say a motorcycle ran off that road and crashed into some woods. The driver, Trevor Lundy, died at the scene. Part of Chatillon Drive was shut down while police investigated. This is the 7th deadly traffic crash in Winston-Salem this year.
They saved my life, they saved my son's life, all of them. And I want to say thank you to them.
Two civilians were shot during last week's deadly shooting in Dallas, and now one of them is talking about what happened. Shatami Tyler said she was leaving the protest with her sons when shots rang out last Thursday. She recalled hearing one officer telling her to run after he'd been shot. As they ran, Taylor was shot in the leg and threw herself over one of her sons to protect him. Then she says officers surrounded and shielded her family before she saw another officer shot right in front of her. Taylor's sons were not hurt. Her surgeon says she should be able to start walking again in 2 to 3 months. Well, hundreds of people are still leaving flowers, balloons, and messages on 2 police cars outside of Dallas Police Headquarters. President Obama is back at the White House now. He cut a trip to Europe short following the deadly attack. He heads to Dallas tomorrow, where he'll speak with an interfaith memorial service. He'll also meet privately with the families of the fallen police officers and the civilians who were hurt. Tense protests continued around the nation over the weekend. In Baton Rouge, police clashed with hundreds of protesters in the streets, leading to several arrests. In Memphis, a Black Lives Matter group shut down the Interstate 40 bridge heading into downtown, and traffic was stalled as hundreds of demonstrators marched in protest of the recent police-involved shootings that left 2 black men dead.
And here in Greensboro, just from a local standpoint, we're gathering the people that say, well, it hasn't happened here, you know, how can I still be involved? I still want to do something. How can I make my voice heard? We're here to create that avenue.
In the Triad, more protests are planned to stand in solidarity with communities affected by last week's shootings. Yesterday, people in Greensboro marched and held signs calling for an end to unnecessary force by police. Protesters also showed solidarity with the families of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile, the 2 men shot and killed last week by police. In Winston-Salem, people are supporting law enforcement. They're planning a rally for next week. A Police Lives Matter event will be held next Sunday to pray for law enforcement officers. It'll be outside Winston-Salem Police Department headquarters starting at 3 in the afternoon on July 17th. This morning, a lot of people are busy cleaning up after heavy storms in the area. Strong winds knocked down several trees on Philip White's property. He is a WXII 12 weather watcher. A trampoline even blew over to his yard from a neighbor's house.
As you can see, the front yard is a disaster area from debris from that tree.
Boyd says the tree also uprooted and hit his house, causing extensive damage. Neighbors are helping the family clean up. Some people in the state are without power this morning. Duke Energy is reporting over 4,300 outages in Wilkes County. Over 140 people are without power in Forsyth County. Hundreds of crews are working to repair power poles and lines and reconnect homes and businesses. But it could be later on in the day before everyone is back online. And there are a couple of road closures to tell you about. All southbound lanes on 52 are still closed this morning. Those roads are expected to open back up around 5 a.m. Tomorrow, crews are going to be working on the new Mock Street Bridge. The right northbound lane of US 52 will be closed. Later in the night, the left lane is going to close down. To stay updated on future closures, just search #WXII Traffic on Twitter. If you're a senior citizen, you may enjoy an afternoon or even an evening drive, but there are some states not so safe for you to drive in. We'll explain. Plus, the track and field and gymnastics trials ended last night. We've got the latest on who's headed to Rio. You're watching WXII 12 News at 4:38 this Monday morning.
.41 this morning, a few raindrops on Super Doppler 12. We had a few storms around overnight. Perhaps they woke you up. Not much lightning showing up now as rain lifts through Forsyth, Guilford, toward parts of Rockingham, Caswell, through Alamance County as well. We'll have rain chances back later today after morning rains fade. How hot will it get today? We'll have that answer after the break.
In this morning's consumer headlines, there are a few states senior citizens should be extra careful when driving. A study by Caring.com says Rhode Island is the most dangerous state for drivers 65 and older. Maine, Minnesota, and New York followed behind. The story is based on the percentage of older residents killed in car crashes each year. Our South Carolina neighbors made the list as one of the least dangerous states to drive in for this group. The Republican National Convention is only a week away. What local businesses and hotels are doing to switch up their menus and be a good host during that week. Plus, it is a new game that's fun to play, but you have to be aware of your surroundings when playing it. How a Pokemon game could be linked to some robberies. You're watching WXII 12 News at 4:42 this Monday morning.
The Triad's #1 news, WXII 12 News, with Kimberly Van Scoy, Kenny Beck, meteorologist Brian Slocum, and breaking news and traffic with Brianna Connor.
4:45 this morning. During the break, Brianna Connor called me a nerd. I just want to make that public.
Mean it.
I own that, though. I do. Conditions over the area a little wet in a nerdy way. We have some showers and thunderstorms fading and tapering off to scattered showers over the area. They're lifting through. We could see a stray shower, not too much rain here and there once these storms move out of our airspace or just die out altogether. Pool day, yeah, we'll have some clouds, a little sun too mixed in for good measure. High temperatures in the upper 80s, right where they're supposed to be for this time of year. Later in the day, though, a chance for storms is going to start to increase a bit, and some of those storms might be strong. We'll have more on that forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes.
The campaign trail continues for presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump. Today, he won't be too far from the Tar Heel state. Trump will be in Virginia Beach, Virginia, giving a speech on veterans reform. The event is scheduled to start at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And presumptive Democratic nominee for president Hillary Clinton is taking a small break from the campaign trail today. Tomorrow, she's expected to speak in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Her event is scheduled to kick off at 11 in the morning.
As a consequence, I think it's inappropriate for me to second guess or comment extensively on the conclusion that they arrived on.
President Barack Obama avoided getting into specifics yesterday when asked about the investigation into Hillary Clinton's private email server. The president talked about the email issue in Madrid after meeting with Spain's acting prime minister. Although he thinks it's inappropriate for him to second guess the decision, he did say he's concerned about how the government in general handles sensitive information. The Republican National Convention is only a week away, and local restaurants in Cleveland are preparing to put their best food forward. Cleveland businesses are getting ready to host an estimated 50,000 visitors. At the Ritz-Carlton Cleveland Hotel, they've planned new food and beverage offerings just for the RNC. Further out into the suburbs, restaurants say they are expecting a boost in business because delegations from 7 states are staying at hotels in the area.
Everything that we do, we've pulled all the stops out. We want to make sure it's as patriotic as possible.
We're just taking it as a great opportunity to welcome a lot of new guests in.
The Republican convention runs next Monday, July 18th through Thursday, the 21st. In just 25 days, athletes from all around the country and the world will go for gold in Rio de Janeiro. The 5-person U.S. women's gymnastics team is now set. They're going to be led by none other than Simone Biles. Biles won best all around at the Olympic trials in San Jose Sunday night. 2012 Olympic gold medalist Gabrielle Douglas, Lori Hernandez, Ali Raisman, and Madison Cochrane are also headed to Rio with Biles, who says she is optimistic about her Olympic debut.
For the past 3 years, it's been a dream, but once it comes true, it's just, you don't even believe it. It's kind of like a fairy tale, but you have to keep going, and I know this is just the beginning. I know it's the end of the beginning, but it's just the beginning now.
The 3 alternates are Ashton Locklear from North Carolina, Michaela Skinner, and Reagan Smith. The track and field trials wrapped up in Oregon yesterday as well. There were brand new Olympians and some returning veterans, but all say they were very happy with having punched their ticket to Rio. Tori Bowie won the 200-meter dash, and the Olympic Games boy will also run the 100-meter race. Allison Felix will be competing in Rio in the 400-meter race, and the men's 400-meter hurdles, Karen Clement, Byron Robinson, and Michael Tinsley took the top 3 spots.
When I look back and I see everything that happened, I still think it's quite amazing that I was able to make this team off.
Last year we showed that we could put 3 guys in the final in Beijing, and I expect us 3 here to be in the final in Rio.
Robbie Andrews and Ben Blankenship are also on the team. Here's something a lot of people are talking about: the new Pokemon Go smartphone game. It may be fun to play, but police say robbers are taking notice. The recently released game sends players on a real-world scavenger hunt to different locations to collect various creatures. Police in O'Fallon, Missouri say 4 teenagers robbed a person at gunpoint who was playing this game. One officer is now warning it may cause you to be less alert.
you know, it may not just be as much as them using the location to find the individuals, but as well as the inattention of the persons walking around staring at their phone.
Police say the 4 teens had been linked to 11 robberies in the area, but it's still not clear if the Pokemon game played a part in all of those robberies. Well, several inmates are credited with saving the life of an armed guard at a jail in Texas. This surveillance video shows that 8 inmates in a basement holding cell when the lone guard stops breathing. You can see the group break out of their cell, help the guard, and then start yelling for more people to come and help. Sheriff's deputies rushed to the basement, corralled the inmates back into their cell, called for paramedics who were able to revive that guard. Time to talk weather this Monday morning. It was a relatively dry weekend, warm temperatures, and now it's a little wet out there.
Yeah, we had some nasty storms Friday evening. Certainly left their mark in areas. Wilkes County got hit especially hard with some damage. But as those storms began to move out of our airspace, things were actually looking pretty good for late Saturday. We had some little rain late yesterday and early this morning. Overall, though, things are starting to settle down a little bit. Little thunder and lightning came along for the ride. Most of it now exiting parts of Wilkes County, moving in through Guilford County. Still rain above Kernersville at the moment, just north of Wahlberg and along the northern end of the 311 corridor. Once you get into Winston-Salem city limits, Summerfield, Oak Ridge, some little bit of wet weather along the border with Virginia north of Stoneville and Eden this morning, and some rain moving through Guilford County, now exiting downtown Greensboro. Another batch getting ready to move in. That's at Kernersville rain, and some more rain getting ready to move in through Burlington and parts of western Alamance County this morning. Temperatures are still cooling off. Don't really call them cool, though. 72 from Burlington up toward Winston-Salem, 71 Mount Airy, Lexington, and in Asheboro the early part of your morning. From Greensboro to High Point today, we'll see more clouds, I think, than sunshine. Some partly sunny intervals, though, will be a possibility today. Overall, temperatures are pretty normal. High of 87 degrees this afternoon. Through about lunchtime, we'll have about a 20% chance for rain, then we'll start to pick up those rain chances during the afternoon and early evening hours. Coverage should be about 30 or 40% later on today. Pilot Mountain, Elkin, Trap Hill. Your highs will be in the mid-80s today. Early rains have moved out, but storms will redevelop shortly after lunchtime today and start to move in. Lunchtime rain a possibility. McGrady, Sparta, our far western counties, high temperatures nearing 80 for many of our mountain spots later on this afternoon. You can see how quickly the early morning rain rolls out. There will be a little bit of sunshine during the morning hours. Clouds begin to return in the afternoon. Temperatures reaching the upper 80s, somewhere just below 90 degrees, and that's when the storms begin to flare up. Models indicating that this could kind of develop into a strong, solid line sometime later in the evening as it passes through the triad. Wind damage will be the primary threat there. Then things settle down again overnight, perhaps a lingering shower, but that's all that we're talking about. As far as severe weather possibilities go, just general thunderstorms across the north. The area of concern, I guess, if there is one, is south of I-40. More of a marginal risk for severe weather there today. Temperatures will be on the uptick much this week. Best storm chances are early in the week, but we'll keep some rain around most days in your 7-day forecast once highs return to the 90s.
Allergies are pretty common for most Americans. What childhood habits can help reduce them for your young children? Plus, at 5 o'clock, a small plane crashed into a lake in Florida. Who was on board and how they got out safely? You're watching WXII 12 at 4:53 this Monday morning.
All right, a little rain around on Super Doppler 12. These were thunderstorms, but have now kind of tapered down to scattered showers. Came through Forsyth, through Davie, and through Davidson County. High Point had a good lightning storm around 2 a.m. The rains have now faded a bit and continue to move east-northeast through our airspace. A passing shower possible this morning. Storms will get regenerized this afternoon. And we'll start to bring better rain chances in later on this week. Stick around. Your 7-day forecast is coming up at 5 a.m.
In this morning's Health Beat, a new analysis of smoking says teens who may not smoke regular cigarettes are opting instead to smoke electronic cigarettes. The rate of teens who smoked regular cigarettes declined to 9% over the past decade, but when researchers in Southern California combined cigarettes with e-cigarettes, that number jumped to 14%. Experts believe e-cigarettes are exposing a new generation to nicotine. Two childhood habits that may frustrate you as a parent might actually help protect your little ones from allergies. Researchers in New Zealand say kids who suck their thumbs and bite their nails are better shielded from developing allergies to dust mites, grass, and animals. The reduced risk lasts into adulthood. Although there is evidence backing up this claim, experts don't recommend encouraging kids to pick up these habits. A unique and new kidney donation program uses an old-fashioned coupon system to get patients life-saving transplants. It could be a game changer for the 26 million people in the U.S. living with kidney disease. Erica Edwards fills us in on how it works.
66-year-old Howard Broadman is a self-proclaimed pusher.
How about a kiss? No, another one. That was a crummy kiss.
So it makes sense that Broadman was the one who came up with the plan that could revolutionize kidney transplants.
If it helps people, it's a game changer.
Broadman's grandson Quinn was born with one kidney that does not function well. He'll need a new kidney someday. Broadman wanted to be that donor, but because of his age, Broadman needs to donate a kidney now.
Well, wait a minute. This doesn't make any sense. Why don't I just give my kidney to somebody else and get a voucher and give it to Quinn?
It's amazing we didn't think of this sooner.